So about a couple of months ago, I had built my ITX build, and for the motherboard I had for it was this Gigabyte A520i AC. Well, trying to test coolers and find out which cooler that I wanted to use for it to kind of help with the whole noise thing of these ITX computers, because, you know, small size, low airflow. But anyways, the motherboard just stopped working on me. So long story short, went with a different motherboard, the Asus. It worked great, and that's actually a real cool computer that I put together. I'll post a link to that video if you guys want to check out that build. My wife kicked me out, so I built it. That's cool, right? So with a dead motherboard, I decided to do the whole Gigabyte RMA thing. Got on the website, signed up, created an account, filled out the whole information thing, you know, what's wrong with it, what's it doing, all that stuff. And then you would wait like a day or two, and they either say yay or nay, they'll warranty it, RMA it, whatever. And yeah, they send you an RMA number and you mail it to them. So to mail it to them, I printed out my own label, put their stuff, my information. Of course, it didn't look like this. I just don't want to leave my whole personal information. You know, don't want people trying to hunt me down and steal all the RGB frames per second we're getting in the garage. So I sent it just like this, and they literally sent me the box back just like this. But of course, you know, they put their label. I mean, yeah. I mean, talk about like cost savings and budget savings, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, they sent it just like that. Now, it took 3.5 weeks for me to get this thing back, which I thought that was a little bit long, but maybe that might be normal. I don't know. Usually I've had like a week or two, but 3.5, actually no, it was 4 weeks. It took 4 weeks, a month for me to get this motherboard back. The spooky thing about it is when I got onto the website to check the status of this, my account was deleted. I could not log in, so I really thought that my motherboard was dead in the water, and yeah, I will never see it again, and I was out the $100 and something that was spent on this. It's a great feeling. But what makes you feel even great about this whole RMA process is that reaching out to Gigabyte, and yeah, no answer, no response. But then magically, I mean, week 4, here we are. Got it back just like this. So yeah, let's see if they actually did anything to it. Now, I've already gone and opened this thing up. I haven't checked the motherboard, inspected it, or anything like that. I just opened up the box to see what it is. But I kid you not, it was shipped just like this. And yeah, of course, the invoice information, I mean, my personal information is on that, but they sent me that, and just kind of, I guess, a little loosey-goosey like this, but this is what they sent. Now, they have a piece of tape in the back, so, you know, that's pretty nice, because, I mean, I guess that's a thing. And what they will say is I didn't send it with an anti-static bag, so maybe they put it in, maybe they put it, I don't know. But let's open this up. Take a look, and I'll be honest with you, I cannot say for certain whether it is the same motherboard. Well, yeah, this is the same motherboard because that's thermal paste. Yep, I'll have to look back at the footage, but I'm pretty confident this is the motherboard that I just sent them. So maybe they fixed it, maybe they repaired it, or maybe they just sent it back. Great. So now let's put a CPU, some memory, a drive, and let's find out if it works. So now all this stuff over here, this is the Ryzen 5 3600. This is the CPU that I was using. I know this works because when I popped it in the Asus motherboard, no issues. So I know the CPU is good. I know the memory is good because I've tested the memory, and I pretty much tested everything that I did that day. I mean, to include power supplies and everything. Yeah, now that I'm looking at this, yeah, this is the motherboard I sent. Maybe they fixed it. That'd be nice. One thing I will say that I've RMA'd Asus and MSI motherboards, and they've given me brand new motherboards. And, well, unless they're pretty awesome at fixing this, I really don't have a lot of faith in this. So now we're going to pop in this G-Skill memory. This is going to be a 16 gig stick. It's 3600 speed. I mean, this is just to test. That's all we're trying to do is just pop this on, test it. I'm actually going to run a couple of rounds of Cinebench because that's what I was really doing, is just running the heck out of Cinebench just to really stress this thing out and find out the cooler that I wanted to do. But unfortunately, this didn't want to do it. For the storage, we're using this brand new Team Group PCIe Gen 3 512. If this motherboard does work and everything is fine, then I'm going to leave this in here because I think I might make this either a test bench, flip it, I don't know. But either way, this drive is going to stay with this motherboard. So now I kind of paused for a sec, and I actually went back and looked back at some of the footage. And this is indeed the motherboard that I did send back. So that kind of, as long as it works, I mean, that's cool. But I mean, whatever. I mean, if they're able to fix it, that's fine. And the reason why I know is because me being the dummy I am sometimes, I left the M.2 screw in here. And I actually had that on the footage. So yeah, they kept my screw, which is great. But luckily, I saved these things and I just have a whole bunch lying around. But I mean, really, Gigabyte, you could have left my screw there. Maybe they tested one of their drives. I don't know. I don't know what they do, but they kept my screw. So that's like what, $1 that they owe me. Let's get a cooler in. I'm not going to use anything too fancy. This might get upgraded, or, well, a cooler that is. I'm just going to use this Slim Silence AM4G lid. Silver Knight's PC actually gave me this to try out, and this cooler works actually pretty good. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything intense, and probably with some undervolting, this thing would perform way better. But I will say this cooler is very quiet. For thermal paste, I got this stuff cheap, and I use cheap thermal paste when I'm doing like testing stuff like this, because the good stuff gets expensive. I'm just gonna kind of blob this right over here, which I'm sure there are people screaming right now at the screen, but it's okay. It's okay. This is just so we could test. That's good enough for now. Let's get you in just like so. For a graphics card, I'm just going to be using this W4100. I like to use these for those SFF builds. They work pretty good. They play the whole Fortnite okay. And they're really cheap, so I actually keep one on hand just for this. And the fact that it doesn't have supplemental power saves me a lot of headache, just in the wiring aspect. But you got to make sure you have these, the little mini display port to HDMI. If you don't have it, you're out of luck. All right, we got everything we need to test it. Let's pop in this power supply. Be using this Thermaltake 600 watt. It works. It's fine. I use it mostly for stuff like this. All right, everything's plugged in. Got my thumb drive because I do want to install Windows on this thing and run some stress on it. So got my power button over here. Yes, I know you could jump the 2 pins, but kind of like this. So let's press the power button, fire it up. Probably need to flick that, right? Let's try that again. Let's fire it up. Okay. Now I don't know if this one has any of those diagnostic lights. Graphics card initializing. Can we get a screen? Will we get a screen? Seems like it's kind of boot looping because the graphics card fan keeps revving up and down. All right, we got a screen. That's definitely more than we had before. So new CPU installed. Let's do, what does it want me to do? Yes. All right, BIOS has been reset. Let's press OK. Let's just enter the BIOS. All right, so Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigs of RAM, picking up my 3600 megahertz speed memory. Of course, XMP disabled, which is whatever. CPU temps are fine. So, okie doke. So far, so good. It picks up my USB thumb drive and my M.2. So let's install Windows. Let's do the whole Cinebench thing, and let's see if this thing blows up or not. Windows installed fine, as it should. I mean, it's Windows. It should be fine. Running the whole Cinebench. I've actually been on this thing, letting it run and loop for about over an hour. And yeah, temperatures are in the 80s. About 85 is the average. I mean, we got a Mickey Mouse cooler, but it's fine. It's okay. I mean, this Ryzen 5 3600 is really good CPU, but nothing that's going to really be too taxing. But anyway, so I've been running it for a while. Haven't had any issues, no glitches. So now we're going to stop the test, shut this thing down, like a complete shutdown, and see if it boots up, because that's kind of what happened. When I made it to the last cooler I was going to test, I shut it down after running a good test for about 30 minutes and it just wouldn't boot back up. Tried different CPUs, memories, everything, and nothing. This motherboard would not come back to life. So maybe something got overvolted over here, but I don't know. Let's find out. All right, you're shut down. Let's kind of do a little wiggle test maybe. Doubt that makes a difference, but we'll see. Fire it up. And it boots. Now will it go into the whole Windows? Are we hanging? Interesting. It's probably installing updates. Hoping that's what it's doing. Yeah, that's what it's doing. Installing some updates, which that's to be expected, and that is fine. So yeah, it worked. So what happened? What did Gigabyte do? I don't know. Let's think. So what do I think happened? It's pretty obvious that this is the motherboard that I sent them. What they do to it, I don't know. I mean, I can't get back onto my account with them to even find out exactly what happened. I can't get back onto the account because that account got deleted, which I'm even lucky that the graphics card got sent back to me. I know it is it's the same board because, well, the thermal paste and my missing screw, which we saw in the video. So what did they do? I don't know. Maybe a BIOS reflash, maybe something kind of popped or solder came loose. Maybe they reflowed the board. Not 100% sure, but I do know it works. So to kind of share my experience with the whole Gigabyte RMA process, I mean, sketchy and good is the best words that I can say for it. Sketchy in the sense that my online account, which was set up, got deleted. So I didn't even know the status of the motherboard. And at one point I kind of gave up on it. And then calling them, I just got no feedback or emails about that. And it also took 4 weeks to get here. So, I mean, Gigabyte, if you've had a better experience with Gigabyte and the RMA process, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, your experiences, also concerns and criticisms. And if you did like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not. And as always, we'll wait to see what we come up with next.